All right, so welcome everyone to Unleashing Your Creativity with me, Michelle Edhouse. And today I'm going to combine two of my loves. One is access consciousness tools and techniques for creating a different reality, a greater reality, more consciousness on the planet, in your life, wherever you choose to apply the tools. And my art. So I have set up my camera so that you guys can see that, and I can change my settings so that you can see it. If you are watching this live, then you can either pop yourself onto participant grid view, so gallery view, which is up in the top right hand corner, or you can do whatever is required to watch it. I'm not really sure what you do on the other end. I have just adjust it. Yeah, play with it. See, hit some buttons, see what works. You're more than welcome to come off mute, and you can do that by the bottom. You're probably seeing me in reverse. So the bottom left-hand corner if you're on a computer, and unmute yourself. If you're not going to speak, please do leave yourself on mute so that any background noise doesn't affect the recording. So, who am I? And what grand and glorious adventures do I have to offer you today? My t-shirt, it's an acrylic floor. How's it getting better? I've been playing. So, who am I? I am a mother of two and wife of one, based here in Rotorua, New Zealand. And I have been an access consciousness facilitator for 7 years, somewhere around there. And I've been painting for about 9 years. So in the background, you can see some of my original art style up on the walls. I kind of got to a point where it was taking me so long to paint a painting, and it was kind of driving me a little bit nuts that I just wanted to paint until the painting's finished, which doesn't help when you are working full time. So I pretty much stopped painting completely. And about 2 years later, I was so desperate to start painting again that I started asking questions. Now, questions is something that we teach people to use in access consciousness. It kind of gets beaten out of us when we're a kid, and you know, don't ask so many questions. I can't be bothered answering your questions. So we teach you to start asking questions again. Asking questions not to get an answer, but to get awareness. And when you're asking a question, if you're trying to get a correct answer, actually not asking the correct question. Because what asking a question to get an awareness does is it opens up a space to ask even more questions. It opens up the space for the universe, God, whoever you follow, believe in, whatever, to contribute to you awareness of what else is possible. And it's like, it really is like being on a roadmap. So you're in a spot and okay, well, where am I going to go? And like you've got what, 360 degrees in which direction you can turn, right? And there's roads in some of them, and there's going off the beaten track in other ways, but you've got 360 degrees options. Well, in the universe, it also goes in all sorts of dimensional ways as well, but we're not going to get into that. So asking a question is about getting the awareness so that you can ask another question and keep asking questions. And what we recommend that you do when asking questions is follow what's light. Now, it says it in the Bible, follow the light. And honestly, if you follow what is light for you, and what's light for you is what's right for you. That's easy to remember, light, right? If you follow what's light for you, then you will end up having a light, expansive, and joyful life. But if you follow what's heavy for you, your life will contract and get yucky and down and bleh. So which one are you choosing, really, is the question. If you're wanting a down, contracted life, then follow the heavy. But I'd recommend follow the light. And so if you ask a question like, should I paint a painting today? And to me, that is like, what? But not every day is it like that. Not every day do I get that expansive, joyful, whee! I get this, oh, yeah, I could. Now that's, to me, heavy. And you can use this heavy and light tool in anything from asking whether you should invest in a property or whether you should have a cigarette. I mean, really, it's left, right, and center. You can ask questions and use the heavy and light tool. And so as we go through today's class, I'm going to be asking you what is light for you. Because, you know, what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. If you were doing the painting that I'm going to be doing today, you might not be light for you to use the colours that are light for me to use. So would you be willing, this is really lumpy. I'm mixing paint while we're talking, by the way. Would you be willing to start to tap into what you know, what you're aware of, and what will create your reality with regards to the life that you desire? And, you know, when it comes to creativity, being willing to follow what's light does actually create a very, very easeful trip. So what is creativity? Because, you know, this class is called Unleashing Your Creativity. And so unleashing your creativity is about literally that, being willing to use your capacities to create. Now, that can be in art, and that's how I've been using it a lot lately. I've got my own YouTube channel. A lot of you that are joining us on this call have been watching my videos on YouTube and watching me paint. And but it also can be creative with regards to business, with regards to parenting, with regards to money flows, with regards to relationships, with regards to gardening, with regards to any area of your life. If you unleash your creativity, then you can have absolute massive possibilities. But if you're limiting yourself, cutting off where you are willing to receive your capacities, then how great is your life actually going to be? This t-shirt's actually a bit sticky. First time I've worn it, I painted it myself. Okay, so what is creativity? Creativity is the capacity to pull lots of little strands together and create something. And so it's not about being able to follow a pattern. It's about being able to tap into the awarenesses, look for the lightness that wants to contribute to whatever you're creating, and pull that, and ask even more questions. So how much of that? What else is possible? Who else would like to contribute? And it really is just you being you and knowing that you have the capacity to tap into anything on the planet, anything off the planet, and use what you're aware of to your advantage. So everywhere you have cut off your capacities with creativity, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that, please? Now I'm going to use this weird and wacky tool called the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And it goes right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. Now, what is that? That is, as I say, the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And it's kind of like a magic wand where you can just when you ask a question and there's yucky come up, there's stiff yuck come up, then by waving that magic wand, and the short version is POC and POD, so it's a lot easier to remember, it basically vacuums up all that stuck energy, clears it away, and creates space for something else more light, ease, and joy and glory to be in your reality. So you can use it on any points of view. Men with mustaches are scary. POC and POD that. Oh, okay, now they're not so scary anymore. My husband grew a beard for 3 months this year, and it's been really, really interesting what points of view came up on me, for that on me. Anyway, so how many of you have had people cut off your creativity with their comments and the way you've responded to their comments? I know for me, I can look back over my childhood, and there are several times where people have made me choose. No, okay, that's really wrong way of saying it. People have said things, and my choice of response to that, saying that, is to cut off my creativity. You know, right from kindergarten, where people, instead of saying, hey, that's amazing, I love it, have you also tried doing this? They've said, well, you could have done this. And I'm like, oh, I'm bad, terrible, awful, and wrong, and I'm not very good at creativity. Now, can you see how our artistic things in childhood can actually affect our ability, our willingness to be creative in all areas of life? I had the phenomenal job of working for Simone Milasas. She's the founder and author of Joy of Business, and also the international coordinator for Access Consciousness, the corporation. And when I was working with her, she was doing a telecall, and it was with regards to the 3 types of people that you require in your business: connector, creator, and mover. And I said to her on the call, look, I'm really struggling to see which of these I am best at, you know. And she said to me, well, have you ever considered that you're a creator? And I was like, no, I'm not good at creating. I follow instructions. You've got to tell me what to do. I'm not. And at that point, my art was literally just copying other people's work or photos and things like that. I was not willing to veer off a recipe if I was making a cake. I was not willing to do anything other than what I was told, really. And I was like, what do you mean I'm creative? Like, what? And she's like, have a look at it, see if that's light for you. And it was light for me. And I was like, that's really weird, because that goes against all my points of view about what being creative actually is. So I continued to look at this concept, and as I did, I been doing a lot of pocking and potting, a lot of clearings, and a lot of unleashing of my capacities, and a lot more willingness to be, oops, that's my lid, a lot more willing to be creative. So I would love to share in this video the tools that I've used, some of the questions that I've used to create that space for myself. And it wasn't just an overnight, oh, look, I'm creative, I'm choosing it, that's it, done. That would have been the quick way. And it is possible. You can just choose it and keep moving. I didn't choose that. Cute, not smart. So what points of view are you using to limit the creativity you could be choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all 9, voice shorts and beyonds. So if you are online and you do have a question, please, please, please ask questions. You can write them in the chat. I will be keeping an eye on that. Yoko's been posting in Japanese, so if you're watching in Japanese and want to listen in Japanese, check the chat for the link. And you can unmute yourself and come on and ask questions. So what I put in the class description, I wrote it down, I brought it in, it's here. Oops. That I wanted to cover in this call was about getting started, working with and not against your creations, actually finishing projects and letting others see your projects, and creating a business with regards to your creations. So I'm going to be going over these really briefly, and I am going to be running next week a 2-day, 2-call class that you can join me on if you want to go deeper into this stuff. But really, I just wanted to run through some tools that I adore, questions that I use a lot, and we're even going to do a painting. How's it getting any better than that? So here's something that I'd like to ask you. When you hit with a blank canvas, whether you're writing a book, whether you are starting a new business, whether you are starting a new relationship, what shows up for you? How many of you have your mind go just as blank as the canvas? Yeah. Oh, I'm going to do a painting today. So the first question I use whenever I go blank is, what question can I ask here? I know that sounds really, really weird, and it's still a question. And it opens up your willingness to go, oh, there's other questions available. There are possibilities. This blankness in my head, it's not actually real. Did you know that? When you go completely blank in your mind, it's not real. You, the infinite being, have the capacity to perceive, know, be, and receive everything in every moment. So when you go blank, it's actually a wall that you have built to stop that. So how many walls have you built to block out, to blank out the possibilities that you're aware of? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. So for me, when I'm starting a painting, I always ask, what am I painting? That's always a good thing to start with. And when I say what, it's not actually what's it going to look like in the end. Is it a wall in the house? Is it the roof? Is it a canvas? Is it a piece of glass? Is it a cap or a t-shirt? Like, what am I painting? Because, you know, that makes a big difference when you're preparing. You could come into the studio and get all your beautiful metallics out and then realize that you're painting the roof, and you got the wrong paints out, and you spent a whole heap of time mixing paints, and it's not actually appropriate to what you're going to be doing. So getting started, it's all around letting go of your points of view of what you think you're going to paint. Obviously, if you're painting in the styles like on the wall, and you've actually got a painting started or planned or something like that, that's slightly different. You've already got the creation juices flowing. You're already on the way. You've got, you know, if you've got a story written, planned out, if you're writing a book, all those sorts of things, that's not a blank canvas. But when you go, okay, cool, I'm going to do a painting. What am I painting? Ah, I'm going to paint something pretty and movable. Okay, cool. That brings it down to canvas. It brings it down to tiles. It brings it down to jewelry. It brings it down to clothing. Like, do you get how anytime you've decided that I'm painting a picture on a canvas, you've already made conclusions and judgments as to what it's going to be. So this is kind of leading slightly into step 2, which is working with and not against your creations. So would you be willing to ask your painting or your book or whatever you're creating? I'm using painting as an example because that's who I be a painter. Ask the creation that you're creating to contribute awareness, to contribute to the creation of it. So when you are asking questions about what am I painting, there'll be a painting that desires to be created, and it goes, oh, paint me, and you go, oh, okay, what are you? Are you a roof? Are you a toilet roll? I don't know. And now some people can go really metaphysical and go, oh, there's an entity out there and it would like to be birthed through you, and go that way if you like. To me, it's an energy, and everything is made of energy. I'm made of energy, you're made of energy, the computer, the internet, the books, the floor, the house, the building, everything is made of energy. And the energy is what is being asked to be created. It's being asked to be manipulated into a particular creation. So what is that for you? What are you aware of? So, you know, and if you're creating a business, even a business has its own energy, and it will have information for you if you're willing to ask it. So are you willing to ask your painting or your creation what it would like to be? Get out of your head, stop thinking about it, and actually be willing to go, what's required? Oh, painting. Okay, cool. What sort of painting? Painting, what would you like to be? Okay, you'd like to be movable. All right, cool. What base would you like to be at? Would you like to be canvas, wood, tile, glass, jewelry, a hat, a t-shirt? What would you like to be? And, you know, for me, it's canvas today. So I have canvas. And so then it doesn't even stop there. You know how I said that asking a question opens awareness for more questions? Well, what sort of canvas would you like to be on? Would you like to be on a big one, a small one, a square one, a rectangle one, a round one, an oval one, a triangle one? Would you like to be thin, thick, just a sheet of canvas? Like, what? There's so many different possibilities, and sometimes you are limited by what you've bought, but would you be willing to ask the questions? What would you like to be? And if it says I'd like to be a 3-foot triangle, and you don't have a 3-foot triangle, say, okay, cool, well, I don't have one of those, not even sure where to buy one of those. Would you like to be something else that I do have, or would you like to go and find that triangle wherever it is and get the painter to paint you there? Because not all paintings or not all creations that you become aware of are actually for you to physically actualize. Do you get that? Sometimes you become aware of something for somebody else, and that's no right, no wrong, but sometimes we try and create something that wasn't for us to create. We were just aware of it. I could talk for days on this topic. Please, please, please ask me questions. So BJ's saying finishing projects is definitely an issue for me. Rooms full of UFOs. You know, I had never heard of the term UFOs before, other than those whirly things that apparently aliens come in, until my mum moved into a retirement village recently. And they had a UFO group in the activities. And Mum was like, oh my goodness, what sort of retirement village have I moved into? And the activities officer pointed out to her that it's unfinished objects. So yeah, UFO stands for unfinished objects, not just unidentified flying objects. Although if you get pissed off enough with your unfinished project, it might go flying. Anyway, so for me, it's a canvas. For me, it's this, this one. And I don't even know what size that is, to be honest. It's, I think it's 12 by 16, maybe. I don't know. 12 by 16 inch. And I always prepare my canvases by putting pins under it so that the paint can drip off. And it also makes them easier to pick up without messing up the sides. So when you are getting started, please, please, please ask a lot of questions before you actually put in any action. And also be aware of when things change. Because quite often when we're asking questions, if we go, oh, that's the answer, how much more possibilities have you just cut off by drawing that line in the sand and saying, this is the answer, this is what I'm doing. If you watch any of my videos on my Mickey Art channel, you will know that very often it goes from being one type of planned creation to a very different type of planned creation, and usually ends up looking freaking fabulous. But that's because I got really annoyed with it and swiped it. And swipes always turn out good. I love swipes. So for those of you just joining us, welcome, welcome. I do have somebody who's joining me live in the studio, which is why I keep turning around and talking away from the camera. And so getting started, ask lots of questions. And anytime you get that blank wall, all the blank walls I'm using to block myself, I just draw in and create them on Pod. If you want some more information about the clearing statement, you can go to theclearingstatement.com, and there's a big long 20-minute explanation about all the different words involved in the clearing statement and how it works and what it's for and all that stuff. But we're just going to use Pod and Pod. And when I've noticed a lot of energy, I might say the whole clearing statement. So working with Not Against Your creations, as I said, ask the creation what it would like to be, what it would like to do. And I did a video recently on my Access You channel about being willing to actually realize when you have those decisions and judgments and conclusions that are blocking other possibilities. And that came up in a Mickey Art video. I was in the middle of doing the painting and I was, okay, cool, painting, what do you want me to do next? And I got the awareness that it didn't want me to do anything. And I was like, no, tilt, swipe, heat gun, what do you want me to do? Nothing. I was like, oh, I had the conclusion in place that I was only partway through making this thing, and it was like, I'm done, finished, stop now, please. And I was like, oh, okay. So destroy and uncreate all the decisions, the judgments, the conclusions that you have about what it will look like, what it's going to turn out like, how much money it's going to make you, who's going to like it, whether or not you're even going to like it, and allow it to give you information. And that whole asking questions, getting an awareness rather than to get an answer. I asked the question and I got the awareness, but I didn't want to hear the awareness. I wanted to keep playing. So What else is possible? What have you been choosing that has been limiting you from being creative? And everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. My apologies, Yoko. I am talking really, really, really fast. So
That's okay. Can you say that clearing once more, please?
Oh, you got to be kidding.
No. Okay, I'm kidding.
Yoko's translating into Japanese for us on another Zoom, and I don't know. I can't even remember what I said.
That's okay. You're cutting creativity. Yeah. That's okay. It will come up again.
It will. Basically, all the decisions, judgments, and conclusions you have keeping you from being creative. Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. So Heather's saying, hi, Michelle. I'm really keen to know what it takes to bring in lots of projects at the same time. I've been telling myself that I never finish anything, so don't start anything new anymore. No control there. And I know it's daft, but I'd like to keep playing without buying that judgment anymore. Awesome. So for those of you that are brand new to Access Consciousness, one of the things that I had to get out of a huge amount of to go from painting, let's see if I can get you the horse, painting this horse, which I've been told one of the best painted horses' ass is that Gary Douglas has seen for a long time, through to painting something that is completely out of control and random, like this one. And that is being willing to be out of control. And Heather, I don't know how many times you've run it, but my favorite clearing on the planet is what energy, space, and consciousness and my body and I be to be out of control, out of definition, out of form, structure, and significance, out of linearity, and out of concentricities for all eternity. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you all now destroy and uncreate it, please? Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And I have had that on a clearing loop, like playing repeat for months and months and months and months. 2 years ago, if you'd shown me a video like the ones I put up on my Mickey Art channel of me painting the way I do now, I wouldn't have been able to watch it. I'd have just been like, don't do that. And now I'm not only willing to do it, I'm willing to do it and stuff it up and make hideous mess and still upload the video and let people watch it. So that would be my first and most big suggestion, is to be willing to be out of control with everything. What if you, okay, so here's a question for you, Heather. Are you a creator, a connector, or a mover?
I'm a creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that creators don't always finish things?
Thank you for that. That's so fucking reassuring. Oh my God. So all the judgments that I've been laying on myself are actually completely invalid. They're just, no, I don't think I knew that, Michelle. Actually, I don't think I knew that.
So,
shit.
I'm going to switch to active speaker so that they can see you as well, if you don't mind.
Swearing. I'm so sorry. I just swore twice in less than 30 seconds.
No problem at all, honey. So one of the people that used to be a really huge contributor to the Access Consciousness team for the last, I don't know, 10 years. She was a phenomenal creator. Never finished anything.
Did she not? Really?
No, never finished anything. And the team knew that. So they allowed her to get to this point where it was like, singing, and then they'd bring in other people to finish it off.
Wow.
So who or what can you add to your life, your living, and your business that can contribute to the completion of projects? And everything that doesn't allow you to choose that and to be so out of control that somebody else can finish it for you, will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyond.
I just want to cry. It's like, oh my God, pennies from heaven just landing. All that. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I can start anything.
So for those of you that are new to the Access, did you notice how much lightness that brought to Heather's world? The awareness that she doesn't have to finish anything. How does it get any better than that? And honestly, yep, sure. There are times when you actually do need to get in there and knuckle down and do it. And you'll be aware of that. And so again, asking questions. Okay, cool. Does this project require somebody else to finish it? No. Oh, okay, cool. Does this project even want to be finished?
Great question. Thank you.
Okay. And, you know, so often we start creating something and we learn so much in the process of creating it. We meet so many new people that can be a contribution to our business by going out and buying the paints or going out and whatever it is for you, that the contribution to your life, your living, and your business is created already. And then at some point the project goes, okay, cool, we've created everything we need to create. And you're going, nope, we must finish, we must finish, we must finish, we must finish. And you're going, and the project's like, oh, for God's sakes, I don't want to be finished. Leave me alone, go away, I am finished. And you're going, no, we need to finish this because otherwise I'm not good enough because I haven't finished a project. So
it's
Michelle, up, can we destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds.
Oh, wow. So I'm really I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. It's like I completely get that what goes on here is that I have to start things, to initialize things for me to get the joy of creation that I truly be. And that's actually kind of like, you know, the bread line of just what it takes for me to wake up in the morning and say, hey, let's play. It's kind of, it's not a direct response that what I start will be the thing that contributes in a linear way. It's just the food of my existence kind of thing. Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gary Douglas keeps horses. They cost him thousands of dollars a month to keep his horses, and he's very rarely home to actually play with them. And the energy of joy and space and contribution that they be in his world contributes to everything he does.
I get it.
Every little place. If you look at the energy of anything to do with Access Consciousness, any of Gary's classes, anything to do with Gary at all, you can sense the energy of the horses contributing.
Wow.
So how many times have you made yourself wrong for being motivated by creation? And everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And would you be now willing to tap into everything you've ever created? This lifetime and beyond, this planet and beyond, and receive the contribution from all those creations. Wow. Thank you. Goosebumps. so everything that's brought up, and everywhere you're unwilling to perceive, know, be, and receive the contribution of your creative capacities, will you destroy and uncreate that, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. Yummy, 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 yummy.
Really.
Thank you for asking your question.
So grateful. So. Thank you forever.
And I'm wondering, BJ, if this is actually contributing to you as well with regards to your rooms full of unfinished objects. Would you be willing to go into those rooms full of unfinished objects? And she says, totally, cool. Sorry, I assumed your gender. Oh, sorry. My children have this big thing about assumed gender. BJ is so generic. I'm sorry. So would you be willing to go into those rooms full of unfinished objects and go, so how many of you who I've judged as not finished are actually finished? How many of you are ready to move on to someone else? How many of you want to go to the dump? How many of you want to be pulled apart and redone? How many of you paintings want to be painted over? Like, go in and ask them. And maybe that might empty some space to put some more unfinished objects in there. Sorry. My husband said to me, you've got to sell some of these paintings. I said, why is that? He said, because you've run out of room and you're not going to fill up the bedroom. He kicked me out of the bedroom. I used to paint in the bedroom. That used to be my painting area. He decided he didn't like sleeping with the smell of drying paint, so he kicked me out. How does it get any? Well, kicked my paintings out. I'm still allowed in the bedroom. He's not. The paintings aren't. BJ says that's a good question to ask, not only for creativity, but also for the rest of my life and objects as I try to find my space in life. So what else is possible beyond what you've ever imagined is possible? What have you decided is impossible that's actually possible? And everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pop, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. Cool. So talking of unfinished projects, I haven't even started this one. It's still a blank canvas. Should we do some painting? If anyone has some more questions, please, please, please do ask. I'm really love questions. For me, when I facilitate classes, those classes are created by your questions. We go where you desire to go. I have an outline of things I want to cover, and I'm really happy to go wherever your questions take you, and that includes you if you've got any questions. So, where did we get? So, we've done getting started, working with Not Against Creations, finishing projects. Do they desire to be finished? Have you defined what is finished, which is actually beyond what it thinks is finished? Everything that brings up, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. So letting others see your creations. How often are you creating just in your back room? It's fascinating to me. Several of the Facebook groups that I'm on with regards to acrylic pouring, you start talking about selling and where do you sell and things like that, and they're like, oh, sell? I don't sell. I don't tell anybody other than you guys because you're so supportive. I couldn't do that. So how many of you are willing to create? It's a bit like singing in the shower. You're willing to sing in the shower, but you're not willing to sing in front of an audience. So if you were to show someone else your capacities of creativity, what could be created then? Are you willing to be seen as being a creative person? And everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it? right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. So, okay, so close your eyes, everyone, because all you're going to see is me mixing paint, which isn't particularly exciting right now. Close your eyes and get a sense of creating something that you enjoy creating, whatever that be, whether it's a nice meal, whether it's a piece of art, a book, a play, a business, money. Just get a sense of whatever that is for you. And now get a sense of telling someone about it. Everything that brings up, all the energies of what you destroy and uncreate, all that, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. Now, when we do these destroy and uncreates, you may get words, it may just be an energy. So just, if you'd be willing to just sense the energy. If you do get words to it, great. If you don't, that's not a wrongness. It's just the way you're functioning at the moment. So now get a sense of showing 5 people your creation. And everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. And now get a sense of showing 10 people your creations. Everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. And now get a sense of showing 100 people your creations. Oh, yes. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. Now get a sense of showing 10,000 people your creations. And everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. And now get a sense of showing 1 million people your creations. And everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. And now get a sense of showing 1 billion people your creations. And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. So how many of you are concerned about how you will be judged, how you will be seen, how you will be what pigeonholes you'll be put in if people saw your creations? Everything that is, and everywhere you've decided that that's real and true, that it's gonna happen, that the judgments are real, will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. Because you know what? If they're judging you, they're boring sods because they got nothing better to be doing. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. So if you were willing to be totally you, from no point of view, and not buy into anyone else's judgments, anyone else's points of view, how much more creative would you be willing to be? How much more contribution could you receive from your creativity? And everything that is, and everything that doesn't allow you to be that, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. So when you're being you and not allowing other people's points of view to stop you, to change what you're creating, to invade your space, really, how much more fun can you have? How much more ease, joy, and glory would you be willing to have in your life if you're willing to choose that? Bum, bum, bum. That's what I'm after. More ease, joy, and glory in my life. So here's a really easy tool to use. It's the Access Consciousness mantra. And it is, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Now, notice in that there is all of life, not just the good stuff. All of life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you're willing to allow all of life to come to you with ease, joy, and glory, what else could show up? How much more fun could you have? And if you were being you, would that show up anyway? Because like all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, allows you to perceive, know, be, and receive everything with no judgment and just be an allowance of it. So if somebody was judging you or judging your creation, it's really funny. I go through my YouTube channel and respond to all the comments that are made on the videos, and there's this one person, and they commented on several videos. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, you did something ugly on that one. And I was like, huh, wow, how cool is that? They're having a grumpy mood today. Whereas if I wasn't willing to be an allowance of it, and I wasn't willing to go, oh, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, even their grumpy, bitchy comments, I might go, oh, I did a bad painting. Oh, maybe I should ask them what I should do different so that they would be happy with it. And then I could change my style around with it so that I could be, I'm like, no, I'm doing what I love. I'm doing how I love it. Some of them I get to the end of the painting and go, oh, I don't think that one's going to live past washing time. And I have no point of view about their points of view. I got a comment yesterday. You do have to be willing to be aware though. I got a comment yesterday. I think this video is a bit fucked up. And I'm like, really? That's an interesting point of view. And then she posted in like a couple of minutes later, yeah, this video is fucked. This video, what did she, no, she didn't use fucked. This video is messed up or something. And so then I was like, oh, she's posted twice now. Okay, cool. What is she talking about? So I replied, what do you mean by this video is messed up? And she said, well, it seems like you start the video right at the end of the video and then there's your logo in 8 minutes of black. And I was like, huh, yes, the video is messed up. So I had to go back and instead of saving the video, I put the start saving point there and the end past the end. So I had to go back and resave it out. So I was willing to be in my awareness of it wasn't just a judgment, it was she was speaking from awareness rather than judgment. So how's it get any better than that? All right. So while we've been working, I've been mixing paints. And the copper does not want to be part of this painting. It's decided it's being a grumpy bum today. It's got lumps in it. So I'll deal with that later. It's in detention. But are you willing to? Okay, so here you go. Are you willing to actually be aware of what the paints are telling you, of what the ingredients are telling you? If you get a paint out and it's lumpy, and you just can't seem to get the lumps out, are you willing to ask, do you desire to be used in this painting? No. Oh, okay, cool. You sit over there and deal with your lumps later. How does it get any better than that? So,
Michelle, can I ask you a technical question?
please do.
I missed you at the beginning. I'm sorry I couldn't get here at the start, but have you got a separate camera up above you that's showing us the aerial view of your hands?
Yes, I have.
So you've got two different Zoom participants through the same Zoom.
I'm just logged in as a basic user on my phone.
Wow. Cool.
Then my main Zoom is my the one that's recording and stuff.
Okay, it's brilliant. It's brilliant because
I've got the microphone turned off on my phone so that you're not hearing double or anything weird and wonky like that.
okay.
And then I'm just, when I change over, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it'll show up on the video. When I change over, I'm double clicking on the Michelle's canvas one.
Right.
Did it change for you? Did you see it different now?
No, it didn't.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm on gallery view at the moment, so I don't know. Maybe if I go into speaker view, it would change.
So when so I just double click onto the Michelle's canvas so that that becomes the permanent. No matter who speaks, they will only see what's on my phone.
It's really good because there's one. Michelle's canvas looks like Cousin It. You know, there's sort of the hand out of the box thing happening. It's very cool. Thanks for that.
Oh, good. It's really funny. Like, there's so many different ways of applying paint, and I'm a bit of a questions freak, as you may have noticed, and so I've been sitting here asking the canvas, what would it like to be, and what it's told me is it would like to be a mallet smash, which is really funny because this is the most out of control method of painting I have ever come across. And for those of you that have never done any of my videos on my Mickey Art channel, a mallet smash is where you pour a puddle of paint with multiple colours in the puddle and then hit it with a mallet. Like this one. Hit it with a hammer. My husband always says if it's broken, use some tape. If it's still broken, use a hammer. If it still doesn't fix it, use a bigger hammer. So I'm using a bigger hammer. Let's mallet smash. So the method, so everything this is brought up for anybody listening who's not been into acrylic pouring. Will you just throw in and create that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine boys, shorts and beyonds. Yes, you need to be willing to be out of control to do this style of painting. I've had a number of friends who paint with brushes and make it look really pretty, who are just like, oh my God, what are you doing? How can you do that? Ah! And I'm like, it's fun, you should try it. And I'm like, oh, no, I could never do that. I'm like, oh, that's your choice. Never's a very long time. Never noticed that? Never is a very long time. Never is so long, in fact, that I would recommend never saying never, because never includes future lifetimes. If you go that way, if you believe in future lives and all that stuff. So it was really funny. When I first started doing Access, and I was in a relationships class, and somebody said to me, the facilitator said, so how many people are you still married to from other lifetimes? And I was like, what? And they said, oh, well, you know, when you vow to be with them for all eternity, that's a very long time, even though your body from that lifetime is gone. I was like, really? That's weird. And I went back and I looked at Glenn and I's vows, which were before we got married, before we started doing access classes. And we didn't actually say that. We didn't swear to love, honor, and obey for all, till death do us part or anything like that. Because infinite beings don't die. So that's a very long time. So never say never. And what else is possible that you haven't yet tried, imagined, or considered? How many of you have said at some stage, oh, I would never be able to do that? Would you destroy and uncreate all the nevers you've ever said? All right, no, I'm good and bad. Cotton cock all nine boys, shorts and beyonds. Now, what am I doing? I'm covering it in white. Why am I doing that? To give a base, to give something that the paint can slide around on. All my paints are mixed with Floetrol and water. Links will be in the description below. No. If you want to know more about that, then watch my YouTube channel. It's all on there. Did you want to come over so you can see, or are you happy watching that? Okay. I'll make it bigger for you so that's bigger. Oh, no, I can't see the chat. It's okay. Cool. So, for those of you that are watching live, if you can't see my canvas, that's okay. But if you want to see it and you can't, you find the canvas in the group and double click it, and then it will stay forward facing for you. So as I say, I'm going to do puddle smashes, mallet smash, and so the colours that I've asked are actually all metallics, which is really interesting. So we've got ice blue, decor art. We've got crystal green, decor art. We've got gold from Reeves. And it has actually also asked to be included, which is really interesting, is the cobalt blue, which is just a flat, not metallic. I'm not sure why that wants to be in, but obviously it has a point of view that it needs to be there. So let's get down to the greasy bits. Let's use some personal lubricant. Oh, everything that brought up, well, you destroy and uncreate it all. You didn't know you were going to need lube on my webinar, did you? How does it get any better than that? We're just going to put a couple of drops in each, and this is what creates the cells. So you just stir it in. What did I just do? That's interesting. I think when I closed the lid, I splattered silicone all over the canvas. Interesting. That was not intended. Not normally done that way.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Oh, what did you put to make? Is that silicone? Did you say?
Silicone. It's actually dimethicone silicone, but it bought in the supermarket as Durex Play Perfect Glide personal lubricant. It's 100%.
Yeah. Okay, I go to supermarket after this. Find
Awesome.
out.
Go buy yourself some room.
Okay.
I'm intrigued. That looks funny. Well, worst comes to worst, that's just going to be added texture. That's all. That's not going to cause a problem. So let's start from the beginning. I'm going to do 3 puddles. 4, that one wants to be. So please ask more questions if you have them. So the last section on the list that I put on the class description was creating a business from your creations. Now, if you're willing to be as creative as I know you actually be, creating a business can be as much fun as creating a painting or a book. So would you be willing to see the creation of a business from a similar perspective to the creation of a piece of art or whatever it is that you love to create? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts and beyonds. All right, mallet time. Ah, that didn't work. Didn't stay on. That's right about that. My mallet's a bit dirty. I found it in my husband's garage and he found it in my father's garage. So if ever you are trying to get into being willing to be out of control, try a hammer smash. Because you have no control at all. It just goes everywhere. It's so cool. Let me see if I can show you some of this.
That looks so cool. It's beautiful.
The thing I love about these is where you get those twisty turny bits like that. They're like candy canes. So this is what the silicone does. It bubbles up through the layers of paint and pushes those aside as it comes and creates these little, what we call cells. In the industry, we call them cells. So the next thing we need to do is to fill up some of those spots where the hammer smashed right the way through to the canvas.
Well, it looks so beautiful, Michelle.
Thank you.
I love it.
Really difficult. Number of people that say, "Oh my God, I could never paint like that." I'm like, "Can you use a hammer?" Yeah. Yeah.
I never thought about that.
So what have you decided you could never do because you've never asked to be able to do it? Everything that is times a gazillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts and beyonds. And where have you decided what you can and can't do, what you do and don't know, that keeps you from being, doing, having, creating and generating everything that you've ever desired? Everything that is times a gazillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts and beyonds. Now, one of the things with this style of painting is you do need to make sure it's not too thick. Otherwise, you'll end up with it cracking, especially in summer. Okay, painting. What else do you desire? I'm getting a straw. How many of you paint with straws? It's fun. Watch this. This is where the artistic bit comes in. What do I do? Where do I do it? But this is also where asking the painting what it desires is important too. Not very soon. Let's see. I'm just touching my camera, see if it'll zoom in a bit better, but it's not, sorry. There we go. That one's better. How does it get any better than this? Very big and bold in that middle there. So, is there anything else that this painting desires me to do? Yes, no, no. No's lighter. Did anyone else get a no? Okay, painting, would you like me to torch you? Yes, no, yes. Yes is lighter. Cool. Let's go with a yes. Where's my yes? You got a yes as well? Awesome. All right, so watch out. I'm going to set my painting on fire now. Sorry about the noise. I put a new, it's a brand new canister on there and it's rather forceful. See if I can zoom in. Nope, it doesn't like zoom. It doesn't zoom. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring it up to you then.
So what did it do, the burner?
With the burner. So what the burner does, one, it's got some pressure behind it, like as the flame is moving, it kind of creates a bit of air movement, which pops any little air bubbles that's in the paint.
ペイントの中に。
What it does is, with the warmth, it warms the paint, and any silicone that's still down underneath, the paint becomes more viscous and it can bubble up through. I don't know if you've noticed, probably can't see from up there, but this area down here.
Yes, yes, I can see it.
Developed once I warmed it up. Okay, so
It's totally yummy in there.
cool, eh?
Yum, really yum.
Awesome.
So we've got quite a bit of gold streaking through here. and little bits threading through, and then quite a bit again up through here as well. But then this dark blue and all the green is also metallic. So once it dries, it's going to shimmer like a shimmery thing. It's going to be very cool. And we're going to have we might have little indents in the white as well to give it some texture. That's not normal, but I need to be more careful closing my lid in the future. So if you're new to acrylic pouring, check out my YouTube channel, Mickey Art, and watch some more. Now I just uploaded number 82 on there. So yeah, that's oh, I have paint on my lips. How did I do that? Ha! That's funny. Here we go. So yeah, there's lots of different ways of applying the paint, and I even made myself, I haven't put the t-shirt one up yet, but I covered my cell phone case and I made myself a little money purse by pouring on canvas and then chopping it up and wrapping it and stuff. So there's so much you can do with it if you are willing to be creative, if you're willing to allow yourself to have the doors of possibility to be open to you. Really, that's what it is. So what I'd like you all to do now is to close your eyes and get a sense of a project that you're working on at the moment. And it doesn't have to be an art project. It can be a relationship. It can be a business. It can be an environmental project. Who knows what it is? But would you be willing to get a sense of that project now? And would you be willing to now destroy and uncreate all the decisions, the judgments, the conclusions, and the computations you have of what that project is, what it looks like, what's required to create it, who's required to create it, how much money is required to create it, and any other points of view that you have with regards to this project? Will you destroy and uncreate them all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, bush, shorts and beyonds. And now, will you destroy and uncreate all the projections, the expectations, the rejections and the separations you have with regards to this project? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. And now I'd like you to lower all your barriers. And it just requires you to go, okay, cool, I'm lowering my barriers. You can imagine pushing them down if you like. Just drop them down. And expand out. Be you, the infinite being you truly be. Stay with your body and expand out beyond the limitations of your body, beyond the limitations of your town, your country, your planet, the universe. And now look at the project. With your barriers down and expand it out to the infinite being you truly be. Would you be willing to notice all the little tendrils of possibility coming from the project and going to the project? How many of those were you aware of before? And what if being creative was just a matter of being willing to sense those little tendrils of possibility and use them to your advantage? Use them to create the reality you desire, the project you desire, the ease, the joy and glory with the project you desire. Everything that doesn't allow you to be, or do, perceive, know, be, or receive that, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. And what if just by being willing to perceive those, to grab the ends of those helium balloons before they float away and bring them together into a beautiful bunch, you could be the creative phenomenons you truly be. What if that's what being creative is about? When I talk about asking the painting what it desires, what colors, what shapes, what style, I'm just being aware of those tendrils, pulling them all together and creating with them. So where have you been unwilling to be that phenomenal, to have that greater capacity? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. Nice. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes if you had them shut. And I'd love to invite you all to ask any more questions before we go. If you have any more questions. While you're thinking about that, if this has like just tempted your taste buds and you're like, oh, something else is possible, what else can Michelle contribute? I do have a 2-call series extending on from this next week. It's just $100 for 2 calls. And where else can we go? What other spaces, places, and capacities can we unlock with regards to your creativity in those 2 calls? I'd love to invite you all to come and play. If that is light for you, please look at it. Is it light? Yes, no, maybe. I don't have a point of view whether you do or not. And if you are interested in anything else to do with anything I do offer private sessions, blah, blah. Links will be in the description below. No. Links will probably be in the email I send out, but that's all good. So if you're interested in that 2-day, it's 2 1-hour calls, just like this, where we can look at any area of creativity, not just art. You know, is it your business? Is it creating a business from your art? Is it creating more ease and joy in relationships, with parenting, with any area? Let's go wherever. So accessu.co.nz/UYC, Unleashing Your Creativity series, UYC series. It'll be in the email you'll get. So does anyone else have any questions? No? No, everyone's on mute. Nobody's typing. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I've had a heap of fun and looking forward to seeing what else is possible. I even had the idea that we might do another one of these free ones on a slightly variable topic when I hit 5,000 subscribers, and we're nearly up to 2,000 already. This was supposed to be celebrating the 1,000, but by the time I set a date and did everything, it was we're nearly at 2,000. How's it get any better? So stay tuned. I'll let you know what else is possible. Have fun, and thanks for joining me. Bye.
Thanks, Michelle. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Awesome. See ya.